This is the new Honda CR-V, and it's a little bit like the actor J.K. Simmons. You see, it's been around for a long time, but it's never really took a leading role in the world of the SUV. However, Honda hopes to change all that with this latest version. Now you're probably wondering, J.K. Simmons, who the hell's that? Well, you will recognise them. It's this guy. See what I mean? Just like the Honda CR-V, right? Anyhow, in this video, I'm going to talk you around the exterior of this car, show you the interior, see how practical it is, take it for a drive, and of course, I'm going to launch it to see how quick it is from 0 to 60 miles an hour. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching Car Wow. Buy, sell, Car Wow. Let's start off this video by talking about the design of the CR-V. I don't know about you, but these lights, the way they go up there like that, the shape of them, sort of remind me of those on a Volvo. See what I mean? Now, I do quite like the rear of this car, but I have the Car Wow stick of truth for a reason. You see, while this exhaust pipe is real, well, that's a surround, but there is a real exhaust pipe in there. This, look, that is fake. It's terrible. Moving down the side, I quite like the profile. It's very just normal SUV, inoffensive, and got some good sharp creases. Alloy wheel sizes are the same across the board regardless of trim, and they're all 18 inches. You could probably do with a few more inches, just saying. However, with the range topping version, you do get these dark grey wheels which look fairly smart. All cars get roof bars, and moving towards the front, there's something about the headlight design which reminds me of a Mazda. You see what I mean about that? Also, the shape of this grille, while not identical, is sort of Audi-like. Do you see what I mean about that as well? Now, this being the range topping, actually gets slightly sportier lower front bumper here. And overall, I do really like the look of this car. It's fairly smart, got a nice edge to it. But there's also an edge to the price. You ready for this? So, I'm just going on Car Wow, and I can show you that the starting price of the CR-V range is just under £46,000. And this one here, which is the range-topping plug-in hybrid in the top specification trim, is just under £54,000. Here on the inside, the CR-V's design is nice and simple. I like the layout. This big panel here with your air vents and these toggles to just direct it where you want it to be. You've got squidgy materials on the dash and stuff, some chrome-plated door handles, some lively bits of trim here. Looks fairly nice. However, some of the plastics low down feel rather scratchy. And a bit of a wobbly centre console, and which is not acceptable, I don't think, on a car that costs up to £54,000. I do think that the interior of a Hyundai Tucson is a little bit more robust and expensive, even though that car isn't as expensive. Anyway, back to the Honda, and everything is generally quite well laid out. I like the fact that you have individual climate control buttons, and the way the display is actually in the button itself. That's really nice. Now, the infotainment system, it's okay. The graphics are a little bit dull, but it's all right to operate, and a lot better than the infotainment systems in old Hondas. However, while you have wireless Apple CarPlay, there's no wireless Android Auto. Moving on to the digital driver's display, it's not the brightest or most exciting to look at, but it's easy to see what's going on, and you can quickly swipe through the different settings and menus using these little rollers on the steering wheel. So that's good, and there's enough information there. Obviously, this being a hybrid, it's off, and then sometimes it just kicks the engine on like that, so sorry about that, I thought it was off. I always had that problem with hybrids. Just turn off. Turn off. Just give me the ignition. No, ignition, please. Anyway, one thing I really like about this car, the seats. They just seem like the perfect position. They almost feel like sports car seats, the way they just hug your body. And obviously you're sat up higher, so, you know, it's like the best of both worlds. And there's lots of adjustment in the steering wheel. Very comfy, brilliant driving position, like pretty much every Honda I've ever driven. Some other things to note. You've got good storage under here, 2 cup holders there, you got your wireless charging there, but for the old-fashioned people there is a 12-volt socket. Don't know who uses that these days. You've got a USB normal and a USB-C. In here, the glove box is only of average size. The door bins are reasonable though, and look, we have a rather large vanity mirror, and I'm rather vain. I also like this panoramic glass roof, which you can open. That was the SOS button, but I didn't set that off. So you can open it, which is good. Nice. Here in the back seats, there's lots of knee room. Headroom's all right for someone my height, which is average, 179 centimetres. There's a lot of foot space though, and it's helped by the fact the floor is almost completely flat, which is handy if you are carrying 3 in the back at once, because it means there's lots of foot space. The thing is though, the body isn't the widest, so with 3 adults in the back, it is a bit of a squeeze. Not a big fan of this either. The roof mounted seatbelt for the middle passenger. It cuts across you a bit high and then it gets in the way of the passenger next to you. Come on Honda, you can come up with a better solution than that. I'm going to try and just disconnect it. Got to do that and like that. There we go, put it all away. Don't like those things. Now when it comes to fitting a baby seat, it's really easy. Look at this, right? Rear doors open very, very wide. And you have covers which you flick off the Isofix. Because of those big doors and the fact that the Isofix are really easy to get to, it's super easy to install bulky rear-facing seats. So that's a real plus on this car. Another thing I like is that down here you have 2 USB-Cs. There's big pockets on the seat backs. The door bins are quite large and the view out the back is really good because this window ledge is quite low so kids will get to see out, which is always handy. Might keep them busy. The boot capacity on the CR-V is pretty blooming good. So the smallest is 580 litres and the biggest boot is on this plug-in hybrid version and it goes up to 620 litres, which is better than average for this kind of car. Now there's no load lip, so it's easy to slide things in and out, which is good. I also like Honda's easy to remove load cover. Underneath here you have some storage space and that load cover does fit underneath there as well as all the cables. Now I was wondering, what do you think these bits are for? Sorry, I'm getting distracted, aren't I? Right. Anyway, if you know what these bits are for, because you work for Honda or you've got one of these cars, let me know. I'll show you some of the other features which I do know what they're for. So you've got little hooks there to hang stuff off, 12-volt socket there. And if you want to carry larger items, you can of course fold down the rear seats. Though I can't do it from the boot. I'm going to walk around. Yep. And then, come on, down you go. Bear with me. And these doors, there's some damping in them, which means that they're pain to shut. Right. Yeah. You know, there we go. Got there like that. Yeah, that's shut, thank God. Right, there we go. Look, there is still a bit of a ridge though to push things up. Which makes it a bit harder to get things right to the front. And that brings us to 5 annoying things about this car. The anti-pinch function on the electric windows works well if you suddenly bring it to a stop. Watch this. See? However, if you're a child, maybe leaning on the window slightly and increasing the pressure, it can't recognise that. I'll show you. So I'm building up the pressure now. That is not good. Now, out of fairness, let's just try the same test on a Volkswagen T-Roc. So go on, window up. I'm gonna apply a bit of pressure, build it up. You can't build up any pressure. Let's try it again. Steadily build it up, like with the no, it's having none of it. For some reason, the brake pedal sounds like it's laughing at you. Have a listen to this. What's all that about? The normal hybrid version of the Honda CR-V can only tow a pathetic 750 kilograms. By comparison, the normal hybrid versions of a Hyundai Tucson and Kia Sportage can tow 1,650 kilograms. However, in fairness to the CR-V, if you go for the plug-in hybrid version, it has a special tow mode which enables it to tow 1,500 kilos, which is 150 kilograms more than the plug-in hybrid versions of the Hyundai Tucson and Kia Sportage. Though really, if it's towing you want to do, just get a Škoda Karoq, because that can tow 1,900 kilos. The CR-V uses the surround view camera on the door mirror to actually show you what's in your blind spot when you indicate. Look, seems clever. There's a person there. It's one of our crew. Anyhow, it's not ideal because for some reason, it only works for the left-hand side, not for when you're indicating right. And then there's another issue. Let's say you're using the satellite navigation to show you where to go and you're on a tricky roundabout with quite a few junctions, not entirely sure which one to leave at, so you're closely monitoring your sat nav and you indicate to leave, and where's your sat nav gone? Is it this junction or the next junction? I don't know. Oh, what a stupid idea, really. The layout of the gear select buttons on this car are ridiculous. So you think that that is going to be to put it into drive, you know, it's going to drive like you do in other automatic cars. But actually that is reverse. You press this button for drive and it just seems counterintuitive. Maybe you'll get used to it over time, but if you jump from one car to the other, say you've got two cars in your household, often you find, right, I'm going to drive off now. You go like that, thinking you're going to be going forwards, and you actually end up going backwards, which is not ideal. However, it's not all bad. And that brings me on to 5 cool things about this car, because there's something I really like about the drive select mode button. You see, when you press it, it makes this noise. And if you start pressing it in certain directions, you then get this noise. And it reminds me of playing old video games as a child back in the 80s, Space Invader and stuff like that, or Pac-Man. If you have the plug-in hybrid version of this car, you can actually operate the climate control from your phone, so you can set the desired temperature just as you like it, so the car is perfect for you when you come to it to drive off. I actually don't have the app on my phone, I'm just waving it around for illustration purposes. I'll just swipe out. The car has a false stop on the accelerator pedal. That means that when you're driving in electric mode, you can just operate it like normal. You can press the pedal as fast as you want and it won't bring in the engine until you push past that full stop. It does the same thing when you lift off. Once you lift off past that full stop, cuts the engine and you're back in electric only mode. You may think that this is just a normal glasses holder, but actually it's got a little security mirror built into it with a wide view, so you can see exactly what the monkeys are up to in the back. The rear seats have this many stages of reclination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Oh, lovely. There are 2 choices of CR-V. There is this one, the plug-in hybrid. It has a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine mated to an electric motor which drives the front wheels via a CVT automatic gearbox. Then there's the normal hybrid, which you don't plug in. It has the same 2-litre petrol engine mated to an electric motor and a CVT automatic gearbox, but it's also got another electric motor on the rear axle so that it's 4-wheel drive. Bizarrely though, that has the same horsepower as this one. 148 horsepower. All right, let's see what this new Honda CR-V is like to drive, starting off with round town. So this being the plug-in hybrid will mainly run on an electric power around town. Even though I'm pretty low on battery, that's what it's doing right now. It's smooth, it's quiet. I'll tell you what it is as well. Very comfortable. The suspension is really good. Makes the car feel very settled. It goes down the road beautifully. Apart from if you go a little bit too quick over a speed hump, then you get this weird jolting sensation, like the suspension is firing the wheels back out of the wheel arches. Bang! So don't go over speed humps too quick, but if you do, it's a bit not great. Other than that, really smooth drive. Turning circle is 11.4 meters, which isn't quite as good as its key competitors. I want to go into camera mode. Go into camera mode. There we go. It'd be good if it had the lines to help me around, but that's good enough. It's gone away again. Come on. Why do I have to keep pressing it? It should stay on. No. Oi. There we go. So it's not too bad. And one thing that I do really like is the visibility. Really nice low dash. You get a great view forward. These pillars aren't too fat. They don't cause much of a blind spot. And while the pillars at the back are quite fat, you got the headrest there anyway, so they would create a blind spot. So it's not a big deal. And the view out the back window is pretty good. Another thing I like about this car are the brakes. So sometimes the braking on plug-in hybrids can be a bit like jerky because it's the regen effect rather than actual normal brakes. But with this car, even though that is going on, it all feels very smooth, very natural, very linear. You won't make your passengers sick by boom, braking a little bit too sharply. Another thing I like about it is that it's very easy to steer. Nice and light, car goes exactly where you expect it to, which may sound ridiculous, but sometimes in these cars, the steering can feel a little bit unnatural, but not in this Honda. Also, when the motor does kick in round town, the response is pretty instant. So if you need that burst of acceleration, you're just tootling along in electric power, you shouldn't be left floundering at a junction or a roundabout. See, look, straight on it. It's good. Had to brake pretty quickly though, because this is a 20. All right, we're heading out to a dual carriageway, 70-mile-an-hour speed limit. Let's see what this thing is like when you suddenly need to accelerate up to 70 from 40. So here we go, indicator on, 3, 2, 1, go. Pickup's pretty good. The noise isn't too bad from the engine. What's interesting is that you probably saw there, it changed gear. It has 2 gears, this car. It's quite interesting that it does that, because normal cars with CVT automatic gearboxes just have one and they completely like go meh when you thrash them. But that, because it's got 2 stages in it, just makes it seem more natural and more like a normal car. Anyhow, yeah, it got up to speed quick enough. Little bit of groan from the engine when it's really been revving, but it doesn't sound too bad. However, I have noticed that when you're going quickly, you get quite a bit of wind noise and road noise compared to this car's competitors. I do think that a Volkswagen Tiguan is a little bit quieter, a little bit more relaxing. Now, to see my full in-depth video review of that car, click on the pop-out banner up there or follow the link in the description below. Another thing we need to talk about is the economy. So this is the plug-in hybrid version, and I've looked on Honda's website and they don't actually quote the economy for it. For the normal hybrid, they say 42 miles per gallon. But what this has actually been doing, according to the trick computer, is between almost 58 miles per gallon, which is the best, and about 38, which is the worst. But over the past 1,000 miles, it's done 44 miles to the gallon. It's okay, but it's not amazing. Finally though, we come to a twisty road, so this will affect the economy because I'm going to give it a bit of a thrashing. I'm going to go into sports mode, and the plug-in hybrid has adaptive dampers as standard, so it stiffens those up. Also, it adds weight to the steering and makes the throttle response a bit sharper. And have you heard this? It makes this noise, which is supposed to be a sporty noise. I have never heard such a ridiculous fake noise added to a car before. What is this all about? It's like there's some kind of bee caught behind the dash. A depressed bee. It's like, nah, trapped, nah, can't get out. What's the handling like? You know, Hondas normally have quite a sporty feel. I can't get over this noise. I'm gonna have to come out of sport. Whoa. I mean, it goes around corners all right, but it doesn't encourage you to like whip along at all, like some of its competitors do. It's competent, but a little bit dull on a twisty road. Honda says the CR-V will do 0 to 60 in 9.4 seconds, regardless of if you go for the normal hybrid or this plug-in hybrid. And that seems a bit odd to me. You see, the normal hybrid is all-wheel drive and it doesn't have such bigger battery pack, so it should be lighter, which would make you think it can accelerate quicker. This has just front-wheel drive. It's going to be heavier. What gives? Anyway, let's find out. I'm going to have to go into sport mode again for this, obviously. Right, here we go. So a bit of wheel spin from the front wheels because it's front-wheel drive. There we go. Honda are liars! Liars, liars, liars. Pants on fires. 7.9 seconds. Really good. When you really accelerate, not only can you notice that gearbox change from one speed to the other, the engine noise drones out this weird noise. And the engine note droning isn't so bad. It just feels like an engine working hard. It's not too drony. I've already got a bee in my bonnet, haven't I, about the bee behind the dash noise produced in sport mode. So then, what's my final verdict on the new Honda CR-V? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist the CR-V. You see, while I really, really like this car, I don't like the price too much. It's about £10,000 more than the equivalent Kia Sportage. Anyway, I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know if you agree with my verdict in the comments below. Click on those windows there for some more videos, and click on that box there to go to Car Wow to change your car the easy way. Remember, it's completely free. Not the car using Car Wow, obviously.